Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CPL Sim 6 weekly podcast. This is number 18 already, and we had another stream from Firaxis and 2K about some of the new stuff coming. I'm Sarnith. Joining me, as always, is my co-host KingLewis the 14th, and we have two guests tonight, CanuckSoldier and BladeSe7en. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
How's it going, guys? Glad to be back. Gonna go over the live stream and all the new info from the expansion.
Evening, Sivers. I'm glad to be back on our podcast, and we should have a very engaging and interesting discussion tonight.
Long live the ACDP. No, people don't know what that is.
Well, here's your chance to explain, I guess.
Well, it's something that we've been kind of tinkering around with for maybe. She'd been talking about it, and it really kind of careened off of Sarnith doing his league. Afterwards, just thinking about how we could rank people for duels, and then I just kind of thought, well, why not we just use the system that like men's tennis uses for ranking? So now we're still trying to work out exactly how many offend, and we're still working out all the details. So it's still kind of rough right now. But we basically plan to have a little league within the league. You'll play tournaments, and that's how you'll pick up points, and based on your points, that's how you'll be ranked. People know there's no really dual rankings. So that just seemed more fun than like doing a ladder or something. Like you could play tournaments and everything. And it's good. I think it's good promotion for duels and the league.
Oh, for certain. And it doesn't replace reporting to the main rankings. It's just another interesting option that we're going to offer to our members here at CivPlayers.
They'll be logged in as ranked games too in the CPL. So yeah, that's and it won't change. It has no, just so people know, it'll flip out. Like it has no effect on the current ranking system for people playing anything. If you're not in the league, then yeah, you won't notice any difference. You'll just play your matches always. You'll get your rankings like normal. There's not changing that at all.
Don't you have to be part of the league in order to play? Because all games are still recorded.
If you're not in the league, it has no effect on your ranking. You can duel somebody, separate. It's going to factor into your ranking like it normally does. If you're not in the ACDP, it just.
Oh yeah, you're saying that if you're not in the ACDP and you still play duels and reports into the league, that's still an option. There's no forcing people to play in the ACDP when they play duels. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's not going to change just in case people thought, oh, it's changing the ranking system for like free for alls and team. No, it has no effect on that, and you won't if you don't join it, you won't notice any difference in your. I mean, but you won't have. The only way to get a duel ranking separate, like just how you do in duels, is to play in this league. Because as we know, we don't have a duel, ranking system. So if you're really into duels and you want to get ranked as a duel player, that this is the ticket.
Exactly, and what's really great about this is that it's another way that members of the community have come together and say, we like what we have, we want more, how do we add more to it? And this is another way how. This is another option being added by the community for the community. And there are people well within the community that are putting ideas forth and making it happen. It's not just some staff members running the show here. These are people, players just like all of you out there listening, who have come together and say, you know what, this is something we'd like to see. How do we make it happen? And they're making it happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not a staff member, but my skill is just I just keep bugging people until people go, okay, F it, let's do it.
Well, Louie, I guess if you ever get married, we'll know how, right?
You just keep asking over and over and over, just wear her down.
You're going to be like Leonard from Big Bang Theory, right?
Having a hot girlfriend like that, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I didn't think you'd complain. So let's move right on out to the stream that kicked off this week. What were your guys' thoughts on it? I'd love to hear the full breakdown, Blade. You've been talking about it all week since it happened. Give it to us. What happened? What was shown?
Well, first off, earlier in the week before the stream, we had Tamar of Georgia revealed. Do you want to talk about her or the stream first?
Let's do that first. Look at the Civ first. We can kick into the features afterward.
Alright, so Tamar of Georgia was revealed on Tuesday. This is an interesting Civ. I'm not really thrilled about her abilities. It doesn't really seem to play well with multiplayer, but I will go over all that with you guys right here. Their leader ability is Glory of the World, Kingdom, and Faith. You get 100% faith for 10 turns after declaring a protectorate war. So this is sort of similar to what Persia gets, what Australia gets, but now it's faith related, and you have to declare a protectorate war. And as people know, a protectorate war requires you to declare war on somebody who is declared on your ally or has declared on your city-state you are suzerain of. So a protectorate is not really applicable because in like a team game, for instance, you go to war at turn 5 or wherever you meet on almost first contact, and you never make peace for the rest of the game. So that ability right there is never really going to apply because the city-state is going to be at war as long as you're suzerain of it. In a free-for-all, you may or may not be able to get this if somebody declares war on your city-state, but this bonus is just super weak in my opinion. Moving on here, we have the Civilization ability, which is Strength and Unity. You receive an additional Golden Age bonus on top of your normal Golden Age bonuses you would receive. So they said you get it's an extra dedication where you will earn bonus era score on all of your historical events you earn. So it will be easier for Georgia to earn her Golden Ages. So that is a good plus for her, but I don't think it's enough to make her more than like the bottom third of the civs on like the tier list. She gets a unique district building, which is the Tiski. I have no idea if I butchered that. I probably did, but it's the unique Renaissance walls. It is cheaper to build, and it provides 3 faith per turn. Big whoopee. Like, to get to a Renaissance wall, you have to build an ancient wall, and you have to build a medieval wall, and then you have to build the Renaissance wall. Really, who builds walls?
Yeah, this is really not any good.
Yeah, you may build an ancient wall if you're under attack, but I mean, I never build walls if I'm not under attack. So this unique building is useless. Hey, it's nice and it's cheaper, but I mean, 3 faith per turn as a bonus on top of that? That's just weak, in my opinion. She does, however, receive a unique unit as well. No idea how to pronounce this word, so I'm not even going to try. It is a unique melee unit, and it has a bonus ability of being able to ignore hill terrain cost. So it has a movement of 2, but it can move right over hills just like a scout would with the promotion for it. So that is a very nice bonus, and it also receives a +7 combat strength when fighting on hills. So now it's a very easy to get this unit up to a 47 strength just because being on a hill. So that's nice to know, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a hard-built unit. So hard-built units are not really useful. It's going to have... What's that?
Where in the tech tree does that unit hit?
It does not specify what tech it unlocks at, but when we saw on the Let's Play video, or not the was it the first look or the first look, I believe. It showed the timeline, and it was one of the last things unlocked in the classical era. And so the swordsman tech is unlocked at the first tech in the classical era. So if you do that, I'm assuming it's going to be with a strength of 40, probably on the tech that reveals Niter, somewhere along that line. Not exactly sure where, but it's towards the end of classical.
Yeah, it could be military engineering or somewhere around there, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long ways before Niter, because Niter comes after right at the end of Medieval.
Yeah, it's revealed at the end of the classical era, though.
It is Niter? I thought it was later than that.
The revealing of Niter comes after Night Tech.
Then it wasn't that. It's one of those like bottom third techs on the tree somewhere down there is what I'm thinking of.
Then it probably comes at the tech before machinery, which is crossbowmen. So the tech before machinery, because you need two techs that branch into machinery, it's probably one of those, and not at my computer per se right now. I'm mobile, so I can't look at it per se, but one of you can pull it up. It'll likely come with either the siege machinery side of the tech or the walls side of that tech tree.
That's what I was thinking. But well, there's Georgia for you.
It's not a bad UU, but being hard built like Samurai are, it's not going to be the strategy for any rushes. That's for sure.
But it does promote a more defensive play style. So we could be seeing this as one of the attempt by Firaxis to try and divert people away from early game domination focus.
Right. This Civ is going to be great for defending because you put on the lines card and you're going to build more walls, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but you get the Governor Victor. You get him up to promotion 2, and now you have double strike attack walls. Yeah. You put on the Bastallion card, I believe it is, that gives you more strength on walls and city strength.
Bastions. Yeah,
bastions, yes. Now you have double strike walls as well, so the gameplay seems to be more focused on defense, and that's what this Civ is probably going to be better at.
Yeah,
but
and if you had hills around your cities, the UU really does work for you.
Right, yeah, you can actually move around while everybody else is limping along one hill at a time and can't attack. You can move on a hill and then attack somebody free of charge.
Yeah. At strength 47.
Yes.
You say this Civ wouldn't be good at multiplayer. Here's where I'm going to refute your point. This Civ is centered around defensive playstyles, using its unique unit that it seems to get right before the night timing, which on hills, fortified, will smack knights in the mouth and tell them to just go shut the hell up. Even if you don't have a bunch of hills, it's still going to be a solid unit to defend knights with because they're 40 days. Fortified is 46. That's not including any possible defensive terrain bonuses. We're going to assume flat for all intents and purposes here. Now, again, and flanking and support bonuses as well. You're absolutely right. But in addition to this, there are unique building effect, if you will. I'm not going to call it a district because I don't think walls should ever be counted as a district. But that's me personally. But they can build up to these Renaissance walls in their cities because they're going to want them anyway. Now let's look at how these improved Renaissance walls affect the cavalry meta. These aren't just regular Renaissance walls. Renaissance walls already fuck up cavalry, but no one ever makes them. So if the Civ is opting to build these walls, chop these walls, however you want to go about doing it, first I think chopping them is a better idea, but to each their own.
And you have these with Magnus on there, you can chop your walls.
Exactly. So this will completely destroy the Cav meta assuming the player can execute this correctly.
And people will want to build like a bomb. Like, do people even build bombards that much? They don't really need to.
Battery ram is faster. A bombard has to sit there and then can attack, and then you attack the next turn, and gives the defender the opportunity. Oh, hey, look, there's a bombard outside my city. I'm just gonna let it sit there one turn, let me attack me. No, I'm gonna take all my units and force attack it. Force fire.
Yeah,
these walls have more hit points too.
But you can't use Cav with a battery ram.
Not in our league, yes.
So, and even if you bring up a bombard has range 2. Walls have range 2. So you move your bombard up to shoot next turn, I'm hitting your bombard first.
Right.
Do the walls have more
hit points too? And the governor that we're going to talk about later, I could potentially one-shot that bombard with my walls, depending on my ranged unit technologies, the Bastions card, and whatever else governor bonuses could apply to this. And who knows what kind of heroic age, dark age policies that could swing this as well.
How much do they get? How much is the hit point bonus compared to normal Renaissance walls? Is it significant?
It's the same strength as a Renaissance walls.
But they fire twice?
No. They only fire twice if you have victored your city. But the governor, yes. But they do offer more strength, so it's gonna it's gonna take you longer to tear down those walls. Like I had the game I played was it last night. I was playing on the coast. It was a fractal map. I was attacking on land, and I knew their England had frigates. So I'm like, okay, well, I have crossbows, and I'm just gonna build walls my cities. Just like the game was practically over at that point because I knew my team was gonna lose because I was losing my partner. So I build Renaissance walls my cities. My city strength has a 71 defense, which with a frigate, the frigate's not going to take down that wall. It's going to take you 8 strikes probably to tear down that wall. So I mean, they're useful in that aspect, but I mean, it's going to probably change the way we play, the way we sim. But most people already don't build walls, especially all the way up to Renaissance. Don't wait till they get to Steel and just get the free walls. So I mean, it could definitely play in a more defensive side, like you said.
It all depends on the aspect the players choose how to play. And, of course, there's the RNG of the map, you know. You can never tell how the map layout's going to be.
It's good to see more defensive play styles being encouraged. That's good. Offensive.
Yeah, it's a good side aspect of it. I would definitely not put this Civ in the top strengths city or civs to play. But if you want to go on the defensive route, it could be viable. Its faith aspect is not really useful. But wait, am I missing something here?
It's probably a bottom mid-tier civ at best, and it has a niche that role in defense that might be useful in certain games and certain situations. But I don't think it's probably still above England and France in our games, but certainly won't get chosen over any of the strong mid-tier civs.
I completely disagree with that.
Oh, yeah?
England and France. Or England currently is a solid mid-tier civ on any map. You put them on Fractal or you put them on Islands and it becomes a top tier.
Yeah.
France now, in the expansion, is going to climb up several slots and get into the upper middle to maybe even the top tier civs because of all the changes we're getting to spies, the changes to the second tier government building, the the spy place, the intelligence agency. So France is getting a well-deserved buff on this game.
Certainly after the Rise and Fall expansion, but right now, England is strong on Fractal and Island Plates, but not. We play mostly Pangea, and Fractal's a little bit of a crapshoot in terms of what it actually looks like at the end. But I think in most cases, England on most of our Pangea games is mid-tier Civ at best.
I did forget to mention one thing on a leader ability, though. This is probably her best feature, which makes religion useful for her. Each envoy you send to a city-state of your majority religion counts as 2 envoys. So you go around, you convert city-states, and now you're putting +2 envoys in all the city-states. That ability alone could allow you to keep up with both Greases and the builder of Apandana. So it could be really contentious on city-states, which is one aspect that I wouldn't mind playing this Civ for. Like if I'm a team guy, I always play teams. If the random draft gives both of the other guys Grease, I'm going to probably pick her just to combat them on city-states. Unfortunately, though, like if the city-states are on the far side of the world, you're not going to get your religion over there and convert them. So that's a downside of it, but you can definitely control your pocket city-states that are nearby.
Well, there's more to it than just that as well. Because when you pick her, you're also going to take the religious option that when you first convert a city-state, you get an envoy. And every quest you complete will give you 2 envoys there as well. So you're going to double dip her faith bonus in order to really churn out those extra envoys. It doesn't sound like much, but every game that I've taken it as just for fun to play and test out, it's really added up quick. Of course, it just depends on the quest. Sometimes you get horrible quests. But when you don't get bad quests, man, you just crank out envoys like crazy.
Yeah, like I said, that's going to be her niche in any game.
Yeah, it's a little further into the game to get your religion up to speed and then convert them and take advantage of this. But it certainly will combat those those envoy battles that happen mid game.
And we don't really know, don't we expect that some of the civs that are in existence right now are going to get modified their stats when
they are. There are 2 that we know of so far. England is getting to change based on her different continents agenda. We don't know exactly for sure what the actual stats are, but I'm certain she's getting a change to the loyalty factor when your city's on a foreign continent. Because if she doesn't, I mean, those cities are just going to go independent when they're too far away from your main land. And we do know that Gilgamesh from this live stream is getting a buff. You know how his agenda and his ability is he shares XP with alliances. He is now alliances have points, and the longer you have your alliance going, you level up your alliance. Whoever he's in alliance with, you gain more points per turn. Or, I guess per turn, yeah. To move up your alliance
faster. So he has the higher tier alliances quicker than other cities.
Yes. Which is huge. From that one little screenshot that we had from the alliance on the economic alliance, I should say, I mean, you're going to get up to tier 3 pretty quickly.
Hopefully they'll get rid of the double horses
really
and the double archers on those 2 civs.
What, Sarnith?
Again, nobody ever uses Nubia and Cynthia, right?
Oh, everyone.
I mean, they're always banned.
Well, we haven't
Nubia not as much. Yeah. I'd say about 75%, maybe that she's banned.
Duel, you guys have to ban her pretty much because it's just too much. Unless you're playing on a bigger map or something, because you can't stop her on a duel because of just too many archers.
Yeah, we've never seen anything indicating that they're nerfing those anymore, but we don't know yet, and we're still 3 weeks and a bit away from release, so they can change things right up to the last moment.
Yeah, we have no idea exactly how much they're going to change. We only know what they're showing us and what we're able to rip out of the videos. So, which is actually quite a bit of information. It's definitely more than you would think at a first glance. Because, people are pulling out, hey, look at that wonder. They didn't talk about that wonder, but that looks like this or that looks like that. And because of all these people ripping these videos apart, coming together with this information, all as a civilization community as a whole, we're really gaining a lot from it.
So how about go into those governors now from the live stream?
Yep, let's do the governors in the live stream now.
All right, to recap on the ones we had, we have Magnus, which is the steward. We have Pingala, which is the educator. We have Liang, which is the surveyor. And we have Amani, who is the diplomat. We've already gone over all 4 of those, so I'm not going to bore you with those details already. But one of the new ones that they showed, or not new per se, but the new ones that we have details on now, is the Castellan Victor. His starting bonus, or his unlocking bonus, I should say, increases your city garrison's combat strength by +5. So as soon as you unlock this guy, you put him in your city strength is now 5 extra strength stronger. Good for holding the line and weakening the combat attacks. His first promotion is the Garrison Commander. Units defending within this city's territory gain +5 combat strength. So right there, this guy is a free general for the entire city. Any unit that's within his land gets an extra +5 while defending. So you put up a couple of fortified swords or whatever, you have this guy in there, you have a classical general, you're now looking at a +15 strength if you're in a Dark Age. I mean, that's no one's going to push into you if you have this guy in your city. They're just going to go on another city, and then you have to transfer him over there. But still, if you have a choke point, this general, or this governor, I should say, is going to hold the line. His other ability is defensive logistics. City cannot be put under siege. So we all know if you have...
Oh my god.
Yes. We all know if you have 3 units around a city, on every other tile, your city is now completely under siege, and it does not heal. So I do 10 damage this turn, it won't heal. I'll do 10 damage next turn, it still won't heal, and it's easier to wear down that city wall. You put this guy in here.
I would like to clarify one thing really quick, though, Blade.
What?
And that's it. The 3 units don't siege the city. It's because they're every other tile. They siege the city because you, as a player, have zone of control on every tile around that city. If there is a river located between your units in such a manner, one of the tiles will not receive zone of control because you cannot have zone of control across a river.
I was implying that I didn't want to go into details of exactly zone of control, but if you still have a river, you can still get zone of control on it. If you're just 1 tile off the river.
Yeah, it costs you more units that way, but it's still you'll still siege the city.
Right. And then his third promotion tree is Security Expert. Enemy spies operate at 2 levels below normal in this city. That right there, that's an awesome promotion. So if you have all your districts in that city, you put your own spy, or you probably wouldn't need to put your own spy in that city. So this governor here is not going to get stolen that easily. Go into that in a minute. That's another spy mission they just talked about. Another promotion is the Embrasure. City gains an additional range attack per turn. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have, say, Renaissance walls, you now can attack 2 times with your walls. you put in a level 4 archer, crossbow, or field cannon, you now have 4 range attacks coming out of that city. That's huge.
The unit gets the unit inside the city also gets 2 attacks?
I said if you had a level 4, which is the double attack for range units.
Okay, that's not an ability, that's just a standard thing if you get that far.
Yes, that's just the standard promotion for range unit. So if you have a level 4 range unit and the level 2 governor on here, you have 4 range attacks.
And if you had an encampment, you'd have be.
If you had an encampment, you would have 6. If you had another level 4,
double 2?
Yeah, it's a wall.
So encampment automatically gets a double, and then you get 4 without any units. You get 4 attacks with the wall and the encampment.
Yes. So without any units, you get 4 range attacks per turn. You put 2 level 4 archers or crossbows in there, you have 8 range attacks.
You're going to be melting units left and right.
I mean, a crossbow by itself can 2-hit kill a lot of things. You put in 8 range attacks at crossbow range straight. I mean, they have to just throw units at you.
Does she build faster? Does she build the walls faster too?
The Renaissance walls are cheaper. The ancient and medieval walls, those are still the regular production costs as any other civ.
She could be good at taking some city and the edge of an empire and then pumping walls up fast so it doesn't get retaken. But then you gotta get the loyalty up too. But at least she could, maybe hold the cities that you take a lot better than other people if she could put up walls fast.
No, because it doesn't count for ancient medieval walls, like I said. It only counts for Renaissance. So, I mean, you still have to, if you take over city without the walls, you have to repair the walls, build new walls, build ancient, build medieval. And if you get 1 attack in while you're building those walls, you have to wait a couple of turns to repair it, to rebuild them. And so it's good if you're at peace and not under siege. But, I mean, you have to...
Okay. Let's use that a great person ability. There's one that automatically builds ancient and classical walls.
That engineer is a very good engineer for her because she gets that. Those are 2 free walls for her. All she needs to do then is build Ren walls.
Mausoleum for her would be a really nice score.
Yep. And then the final tier on Victor here is Air Defense Initiative. You gain 25% combat strength to anti-air support units within the city's territory while defending against aircraft and ICBMs. You put this guy in your capital and you have a higher chance of intercepting nukes. Your city's not going to get nuked.
I didn't even know you could intercept nukes.
Can.
Oh, yeah. With either the anti-air district or anti-air support units out, you can shoot down nukes left and right.
Yeah, it's not foolproof. It's a roll of the dice, but you can certainly shoot down nukes.
Nukes don't come up that often in duels.
Duels, no. I would say never. That'd be one stagnated war if you made it all the way to nukes.
But even the devs made a point that Victor, although under the generic name of a military governor, is a defensive military governor. He doesn't have any offensive real buffs to him. It's completely useful to the player who's trying to do a defensive game, create a choke point, kind of stuff. But still pretty useful.
This guy is going to be amazing when you pair him up with an offensive classical general rule A. So, any of you who don't know what general rule A is, your classical general cannot leave your borders. So what do? You forward settle your guy, you buy out 3 tiles, put the classical general on the very tip of your border, and now you could offensively attack as long as the general stays within your border. You do that, you pair that with this governor, and now you're really going to do some hurt. Your units are going to defend better, and they're going to have more strength if you have walls in that city. So, I mean, you can use this guy offensively in certain aspects. But I like General Rule A, so I'm going to like this governor a lot. And then moving on to the next governor, we have the Cardinal. This guy is your faith governor. His unlocking ability, religious pressure to adjacent cities, is 100% stronger from this city. So any city this guy is in is going to act like a holy city, religious pressure. So you put him in. If you put him in your holy city, it's going to grow faster to your adjacent cities. Or
you can stack on the other one where you get like a 50% extra.
The belief, yeah, I would assume that would stack as well. And then it would also stack once you got printing with that belief. So if you have a converted city on your border and you're trying to win by religious pressure, you put this guy in there, and now you're spreading to more cities, or spreading faster to more cities, I should say.
Plus, we don't know for sure, but we're all kind of assuming that the religion is going to help you turn cities. So they would do that, but we don't know for sure if that's going to be the case.
I would not.
You know what? That'd be really interesting, actually, if there was a belief choice you could take that made your religious pressure apply pressure to loyalty in some way. I don't know exactly how it would work, but that would be really interesting. Because if you're like-minded in your religious beliefs, those people tend to congregate together, and they can't exactly do that if you're enemies. So it would encourage them to defect from that mentality. Kind of. Kind of an abstract thought. But it does exist in reality. It has in the past.
But for anybody that does single player knows that when you play, like if you have the same religion as another civilization, they're more, just that makes them a little more friendly to you.
Yeah, so if there is a new religious belief that ties loyalty into pressure, this governor is going to be pretty good. You'll be able to put him in your outskirt city. He's going to exert loyalty on your own city, which is plus 8 loyalty per turn, which is the same as any other governor. And then he's going to spread religious pressure while subverting loyalty in enemy cities and make those cities pop into free cities, which could be an interesting concept. His first promotion here is the Grand Inquisitor, plus 10 combat strength in theological combat in tiles in this city. So if the AI or whoever you're playing against is trying to religious sweep you and convert all your cities, if you have a couple of apostles that have the debater promotion on there, which debater gives you plus 20, you now have plus 30 combat strength over anybody else. And a plus 30 combat strength over any unit is an instant kill. So nobody is going to convert your cities. If you have that promotion, or convert this city, I should say. And then you get the home defense bonus as well for being in friendly territory whatsoever.
Another thing I really like about this is it's promoting a non-monarchy government. Or not monarchy, I'm sorry. No one uses that anyway. Merchant Republic. Because theology as a government isn't used very often because there's a lot of investment tied into it in order to really get the units out of it to make it worthwhile. And perhaps this governor, along with some other changes that may or may not occur when the expansion hits, theology could really become a very, very rock-solid government choice compared to Merchant Republic. And that's really hard to say because gold is just so strong in this game.
you could have your cake and eat it too with the expansion.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe.
faith purchasing is no longer tied to your government. It is tied to your government building, Tier 2.
Woo-hoo!
So you build the Tier 2 government building, which is, what's the name of it here? The Grand Master's Chapel. And yes, the Grand Master's Chapel grants the ability to purchase land units with faith. So faith buying is no longer theocracy. It's a government building. Now there's other Tier 2 government buildings that I would say that are kind of good. Say the spy agency. But if your game is religion and you want to do faith purchasing, by all means, do this, build this building, use this governor here, and you'll be rock solid with faith.
Plus, all that defensive bonuses she has helps you, like, especially for religion, you need to help early in the game to stay alive, so that helps for religion too, of course.
Right.
I really think that the Rise and Falls loyalty mechanic, along with these new governors, is really going to change our meta a little bit. When, like you said, a lot of times we forward settle cities, and then use it as a launching point for an attack. Now in Rise and Fall, maybe that city's going to go independent. You're going to really have to look at the your influence lens and see what's happening before you make that decision.
Yeah, it definitely changes on where you want to put your governors, because like you said, the loyalty lens, it is now attached to your settler lens where you see fresh water with everything. So now you'll see, hey, if I plant this city here, it will have a -5 loyalty going towards the enemy city. And your loyalty factor is 100%, or 100 points, whatever you want to call it. And I think the most negative loyalty just from settling, the loyalty pressure, is going to be 5 per turn. So within 20 turns, you're now losing your city to an independent city. You can counter that by putting Victor in your city, going on the offense, like I said earlier. You'll have other means of countering that if you're in a golden age. So it could affect it, and it could still be business as usual with forward settling. It's all a matter of how you handle your pressure.
Yeah. It's going to force players to take a little more into consideration than, forward settle attack. Forward settle chop attack, which is what we do now.
Yeah, that's brainless. You just forward attack, and now you're going to have to look at a little bit more of what exactly you're going to do with your pressure. How are you going to manage that pressure while you forward settle?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, otherwise you're going to get forward settle, go for an attack, and poof, your friggin' city went independent.
Yep.
Now, I think we are going to see more use out of a military, it's a red military slot card, and I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it provides a city +1 amenity when there is a unit garrison there. And I think we're going to be seeing that used a lot more to offset the people that have bad amenity starts, like they just don't have a lot of amenities to really push their loyalty up with, because they did say amenities will tie into loyalty along with city happiness. So due to that, I think we're going to see that card slotted a lot more to keep their people happy in order to help fight that loyalty.
Yeah, that's another aspect that would go along with using your governor offensively to still forward settle with that policy card. So now you're bolstering your loyalty pressure and not going to lose that forward city. So it's adding more layers onto the onion of how are you going to attack your neighbor.
Definitely, because if you're using that card, that means you're sacrificing a card somewhere else. And it's probably not going to be conscription, which is reducing your maintenance costs on your military units. So that means it's eating a wild card slot that you would put an economic card in there. So you're going to have to hurt some part of your economy somewhere in order to do this, which means players will need to sacrifice more to go on the offensive like that.
And you lead into that. It's a nice causeway into my next, or segue, I should say, into the next governor. The next governor is the Financer. Her name is Reyna. Her passive ability is acquire new tiles in this city faster. So as we know, your culture determines how fast your borders grow, which is why Roman culture, Roman borders grow pretty quickly. This doesn't give you the factor on how much those borders grow, but I assume it's going to maybe be 25, 30% or so. Her first promotion is the Harbor Master. Double adjacency bonuses for your commercial hubs and your harbors. I read that and I look at England and I look at Brazil. Brazil has a special bonus on commercial hubs. He gets +1 from every jungle tile. And so you could have a +8 commercial hub just by planting the commercial hub. Because you put it on a river next to all 6 jungles. That's awesome. You put this governor in there, it's now doubled. So that is a +12 gold per turn. And then you use the guilds card to add another double. And so now you're looking at +24 gold per turn for adjacency for 1 district. That's huge. Your money problems are solved with almost one district. If you're somewhere on the coast and you could put a harbor out in the ocean, even more money to you. So that promotion right there is going to be awesome. The next one is foreign exchange. You gain +3 gold per turn for each foreign trade route passing through this city. So this right here is screaming team games. Team games, if you're close to your partner, you're trading with all your partners. And so you put this governor on your forward city. Actually, that's another aspect I did not think of. Will loyalty fall and will your city go independent and flip towards your ally? Anyway, back to this. You put this governor on your forward city closest to your ally. He sends all of his traders to that city and then to the rest of your cities, and now he's making boatloads of money. And then the next one is the tax collector. You gain 2 gold per turn for each citizen in this city. This one seems a little
like he's going to sit in the capital.
Yeah, it seems a little meh to me because it's 2 gold per citizen. Do you have 7 citizens? It's 14 gold.
But it's really easy for civs like Khmer, Congo,
to get your pop up really quickly.
Indonesia hit like 14, 16 pop in multiple cities, not just their capital. Even India with their step wells. So we could really see some explosive economic growth in some of these civs with this.
Right. So, I mean, it's free money you didn't have before for doing absolutely nothing, for just having a governor in your city. And then the next one, this one is going to be huge late game. It's the contractor. It allows you to purchase districts free of charge, or not free of charge, but for straight up gold. No production needed. Just you have a big lump of money. You just buy that district. No longer are you spending like 20 turns to build a district in a new city when it's like Renaissance era. I mean, because as production goes up, you're making more money, you're stacking all your money, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to buy this district. Awesome. And then the last one on that tree is the curator. Doubles tourism from all great works in this city. And again, I'm looking at England here. England has dockyards. England has commercial hubs. She's building all of them. She's eventually going to have a theater square and put in an archaeological museum, which now has 6 slots. So now you have basically tourism coming off of what essentially is 12 artifacts. I mean, that's a lot of tourism. So in that one city, that's equivalent to 4 other cities from any other empire. Because normally you're only allowed to build 3. She builds 12. Or 6, I mean. So you double the tourism value out of that.
Pretty awesome.
Now, yeah, that's
a really huge one for all.
It could make culture just that much easier to achieve if you play it right.
I think it's fantastic for everyone who likes doing the culture challenges on Deity. Because there's a huge community out there for it. There's a subreddit dedicated to it.
People doing it in single player, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just love it. They take any civ that has no bonuses at all towards a culture victory, turn it up to 8, 10, 12 players, Deity difficulty, and just going for it. And they all share their games and whatnot and what they did. It's really neat. It's fantastic.
Another cool thing I think is that we're getting 9 new civs, right? I think of it in some ways is that we're getting 15 or 16 new civs because all these civs that were banned, we're gonna have that a 1 or 2 week period where we can't ban any civs. So people are gonna find there's people that never I don't think I've ever played Germany or these other civs that are always banned. So they're sort of gonna be new for people who, or even the veterans who haven't played them in so long.
I love Germany.
Yeah, we're certainly during the warm-in period for Rise and Fall going to have a period of where no civs are banned, so we can actually judge how strong these civs are. And people want to play what they think is OP and Scythia or something. They may find that they get rolled by the Mongols later on. So we're going to do that. We're going to probably reset the stats, or more correctly, we're going to create a new ladder for Rise and Fall while keeping the other one. So for the period people play both, which probably be a couple months, we'll have both. We'll have both games. We'll have separate lobbies for each, and we will do what we need to do to support the players transitioning to Rise and Fall.
Canuck, based on not 5, since 5 was just not 2, but based on 4, how many new members would you expect to get right off the bat from the expansion, based on how it was in 4?
Well,
was that a pretty big boost?
We're talking Civ 4 and its expansions in 2005, 2007 range. Quite a different social dynamic we have now. We have all this social media that we're using here, Twitch streams, YouTube, Reddit. There's so much more in the way of social interaction on the internet than when Civ 4 was out. But the hype is still the same. We had a tremendous boost every time an XP comes out. So I expect that to happen here too. Well, I mean, we're already seeing it. When the announcement came out, new members joining, old members trying out some civs that they didn't before, trying new strategies. I think that this is going to be, come February 8th, we are going to have a large boost to new players. We're going to enter into a new, we're going to enter into a new golden age come February 8th here. Will it be without bumps in the road? Sure, there might be some bumps. A large influx of new players, some old players returning because of the XP, and we're all going to sit here and try and figure out what the new strategies are, what the new metas are, what are my options, how is this all going to play out. Fire Access, by doing all of these new mechanics, is it may only be say 20% new mechanics in the game, but the way they interact with each other on the old mechanics is huge. So, and none of us know what that's going to do to the overall dynamics in the game, and we're all going to have to relearn the game.
So that we're slowly getting, I'm sure we're slowly getting more people that stuck on 5 that slowly come over to. That's going to keep happening.
Yeah, we're probably going to get people who were turned off on the game originally when it first came out, and now, since this big expansion is coming out, they might poke their head in and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I might give Civ 6 another try. Or they could just buy the game new now and say, hey, now they have the first expansion out, I'm going to get Civ 6.
Yeah.
Get it on a deal the last couple of weeks, or they might have a deal again in a couple of weeks for this. Who knows? But
I always have a deal where you get the expansion and the old game for like $70 instead of 60 plus 20 plus 30. Like you get 10.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. I expect that when the expansion comes out, Steam will lower the price of the base game, and there'll be a package deal that you can get. So having a cheaper game attracts some people. You're right, Blade. A lot of the Civ 5 players, there's a pretty hardcore group that after 2 expansions of Civ 5, they liked their game. They saw Civ 6 as unfinished, and they didn't come over. I think we'll see more of those people now that we've got our first expansion under our belts.
And another thing for those players that are still, I don't know, I'm unsure about Civ 6. Firaxis has started delivering on some of the promises it's made. It's not fully jumped in the pool, so to speak, but they are taking those strides forward, and that does say a lot. Action speaks louder than words. They can make all the announcements that they want, but through the actions they've taken in providing a lot of the things that we've asked for, that does say a lot in its own.
It actually was, right? To be fair, I think I didn't, but wasn't Civ 5 at the very end, like it actually was decent for multiplayer?
The gameplay was fairly decent at the end, but they did improve the MP
code. It was
code,
too late, right?
But it was the barn door had closed, right?
But it was too late to save. That you just lost so many people that didn't come. It was too late to save that, losing all those people at least.
It was too late to save competitive MP. It had died, and that horse had left. And at the end, there still is the NQ Steam group, and they are still playing Civ 5. It's much better than Civ 5 when it came out. Unfortunately, the competitive scene died after the first 2 years of Civ 5, and that's why there's this big gap between Civ players Civ 5 and then us reinventing ourselves in a community in Civ 6. We sort of lost a link there that we had to recreate.
They have actually a leadership in the NQ communities, or just a bunch of people?
Well, they have mods and admins over there, but it's more of a laissez-faire kind of style community. They're there more to keep, because really they only have one mantra, and that's no quitting. And so the rules are just centered around. Not recently.
Over there?
They're still in the Civ 5, and we're embracing the future. So I haven't really had much in the way of conversations with them lately, but we do have people that go back and forth there. So there is some some community links there, and we refer when we get people in here asking, "Oh, well, I've only got Civ 5." We freely send them a link to the NQ Steam community to play Civ 5.
Yeah, we still have some players here that will bounce around and play like they're just bored for a minute, and they'll waiting for a game. They'll play. I hear people playing Civ 5, and then just occasionally that are regulars here, but they'll just play it now and then.
But I feel like we're getting our first XP that will definitely boost our goals of moving forward to being definitely pushing the competitive boundaries, as well as providing the casual gaming experience to everyone. And, at the top end, pushing into more of the esports, which, Civ 6 was a little rough around the edges, but Firaxis is delivering, and they're delivering more with the expansion. And we don't know what's going to be in the patch with the expansion. Every time they put out DLC and an expansion, there's a patch that comes out. We never really know what that's going to be, but we know there's going to be one, and we're very hopeful that there's going to be some goodness in a patch that comes in parallel with the expansion pack, Rise and Fall.
And then this dual league thing will be duels are perfectly, perfect for esports. It really goes perfect for like a free for all is not exactly the best esports thing, but duels are really good for esports. So, this is like a step towards that.
What?
Go ahead, Sarnith.
Another thing for more of your casual players out there to keep in mind: if you've ever been uneasy about jumping into CivPlayers League because maybe you're a little intimidated by the more competitive side of things, or you're just unsure about yourself because you're new, when the expansion comes out and it goes live, we're going to have one straight solid week where every single game played is unranked. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to slam your rating down or anything like that if you're worried about that sort of thing. And all the games are just going to be played strictly to look for bugs, test all the new civs, see what's changed, what's new, and just have all of us players get together and really hash things out for a straight solid week. And we're really looking forward to it. Everyone in the CPL right now is incredibly hyped for it. And we're all looking forward to it. So I really hope you guys come on and join us for that.
Well, let's face it, starting February 8th, we're all going to be noobs, learning a new game. And that's not a bad thing.
New ladder. The old ladder will still be there, but now everybody. So for the people that go like, I want to catch up to SDEath, but I'm not going to ever be able to win 1920. Now he has 0 games won, and you have 0 games won. So here's your chance. You play 24/7. Maybe you can catch him.
I'm pretty sure SDEath is probably crunching through what he thinks are going to be the new strategies already. But yeah, everyone has a chance. Freaking take the king out.
Exactly. And everyone's got to start somewhere, so don't be intimidated by that.
So Blade, have we covered all of the dev stream stuff?
There's still more info to go through.
Well, we got to get on with that then.
Yep. So there's this new natural wonder. There is no name for it, but a quick little Google search comes up as the Pink Lake in Australia. The link says it. Pink Lake is a salt lake in the Goldfields, Esperance region of Western Australia. It lies 3 kilometers west of Esperance and is bounded to the east side of the South Coast Highway. Looking at the picture in the game, it is a pink lake. So that's what it could be. So maybe that's the name. Its yields, we do know, is 2 culture, 2 gold, and 1 production for the tiles itself. It doesn't affect the adjacent tiles, it's just the 2 on there. And I'm pretty sure it would count as fresh. Another wonder, natural wonder.
Though, should it count as freshwater?
It should, yes. The Dead Sea counts as freshwater.
Yeah,
so,
the Dead Sea does, yep.
And Crater Lake
I'm
as well.
not happy about that either. Crater Lake is freshwater.
Pink Lake says it's a salt lake, but the Dead Sea is also a salt lake, so. But anyway, we have a new natural wonder as well. This is the Eye of the Sahara. It gives, it's a 3-tile wonder, 1 production after reaching the atomic era, an additional +1 production, and +3 science. So, it doesn't seem that great of a wonder, but still a new wonder. And then we finally have the details on the Temple of Artemis. We knew this from one of the first screenshots that we got. But anyway, this is available at Archery. It costs 180 production, and it's got its bonus is each camp, pasture, and plantation improvement within 4 tiles of this wonder provide 1 amenity. So if you have a lot of improvements around one city, you plop this guy in there, and you could have like +12 amenities in that city or whatever. This wonder seems huge if you have good resources.
The amenities wouldn't strictly go to that city, though, because it automatically reallocates your amenities on a turn-by-turn basis.
Right. So yeah, it would probably go into your system of your amenities and get spread around.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, how often have you had like 4 improvements, 5 improvements, 6 improvements in your capital city or another city? Easily. Like sometimes I have just 5 pastures in my capital. I'm like, hey, open sky, come here. This is going to be huge. Let's see here. What else do we have new? We have, they just revealed this one today, actually. St. Basil's Cathedral. This is unlocked at Reformed Church. Production cost is still unknown. It grants 100% religious tourism to the city it is built in. Bonus food production and culture on tender tiles, and contains additional relic slots.
A good pickup for Russia.
It'd be a great pickup for Russia. Yeah. It'd be a great pickup for, I don't know, maybe Congo, because he likes relics.
I'm happy that they're calling it St. Basil's Cathedral and not the Kremlin, because they've always done that in the past. Use St. Basil's Cathedral image and call it the Kremlin. Now they've actually correctly identified it as the cathedral.
Probably got too many angry emails.
Yes, probably. From Russians.
But yeah, that is all of the juicy info that I was able to pull out of the live stream.
Well, that's absolutely awesome, because we have so much good stuff coming. And who knows, there's going to be more to come, because there's going to be more streams every week. And we're going to be pulling that information and churning it out to you guys on this podcast.
Yeah, we do know we're going to get a deep dive into the loyalty system. They promised that one in the live stream. We're going to get probably a total of 3, maybe?
At least 3, I would say. And they do have a lot more to cover, so I'm hoping that they do deliver on some more live stream goodness.
And we should get some new members, because I know Sarnith was saying he's talked to some of these other clans that don't have a Civ clan yet, but they have other clans, and a bunch of them were saying they're interested in this dual league we're talking about. But that could be some more new members too.
There are plenty of individuals out there who have the interest in competitive scenes and have in past Civ games. But because nothing has really stepped out into the limelight for Civ 6, they're kind of just sitting back and soaking back because they don't know about it. But now that something is finally going to take a step forward, and that is this ACDP thing going on, this seasoned pro league, if you will, model that's being worked on by a bunch of people within the community. Once this actually gets fully developed and fully thrown out there, we could see all of these people literally come out of the woodwork. We don't know exactly how many people are out there that are interested in this.
It's not somebody said it sounds like a disorder, ADCP. It just stands for Association of Dual Civ Players. It's not a mental disorder. Although some people might say that I have a mental disorder, the league.
Yeah, well, someone could say that a whole bunch of us playing with invisible people on the internet indicates a mental disorder, but that's a whole other discussion.
That's on you guys. I wear a tinfoil hat when I play.
I just sit down in my basement and play. I'm sure that's perfectly normal.
Have they said they're going to have new maps or anything, or new kinds of maps, or new multiplayer scenarios, or they've mentioned anything like that?
None of that has been mentioned, even teased. I am hoping we're going to get new maps, but I'm just wishful hoping.
Yeah, I hope so too, but to be honest, those aren't big ticket items that 2K PR is going to push to the forefront. I mean, I like to see a hard-coded spectator mode in the game, along with Pit Boss, which is like a mini server you can run on your computer to host Civ games. We had that in Civ 4 and Civ 5. So I have hopes
this is our first expansion pack, so maybe not everything will come on it. Maybe they'll, in a year and a half from now to 2 years max, we should see the second expansion, and maybe we'll get more love from now to then too. You never know. They did a big DLC patch in the fall where they actually changed the religion mechanic for us. So they are willing to do bigger patches with DLC between expansion packs. So you never know what we'll get.
Maybe they'll drop maybe they're still holding out. Maybe a new victory condition is coming with the expansion that they're going to announce. I can hope. But it's possible.
To be honest, I don't think we're going to hear about everything in advance, because that's that ruins kind of the surprise. I think we will be surprised by some stuff that is just freaking thrown at us when we hit that download button.
Yeah, that and looking at the patch notes.
Yeah,
I know when they finally post that, probably day or two in advance of probably February 6th, we'll be pulling that apart as well and going through all the changes. See every civ that they haven't talked about that's getting new updates. Like, for instance, the Gilgamesh thing that we mentioned already.
I believe in Ed Beach, because he wasn't the one. Ed Beach was not on board when the vanilla Civ 5 came out. He came on later.
Yeah, John Schaefer was the architect of Civ 5, and he's moved on. And then Ed Beach sort of took over at the end, and then he has herded the development through Civ 6. And he's doing a great job from what we've seen. And I think we'll, based on him, his teams that have been on the dev streams that have showcased the feature so far, I think we're in a good place. I can't say we're going to get everything we need, because multiplayer isn't as large as single player. So they got to sell games and give the people what they want. But I think we're going to be in a good spot come February 8th here.
I want a stable multiplayer. Give me what I want, please. I'll be very happy.
Yeah, we've gone through 2 patches, and we're slowly getting back to where we were before 2 patches ago. I certainly would like to see 12-player games again here. We'll see. Like you said, Blade, 2 days before release, we probably get patch notes. That will be a very interesting pre-release podcast we can do.
Yeah. Any Fire Axe people that listen to this? We still have a bug on the demo screens of all your scores and team games.
Yep, for certain. Team games, we don't get to see all the stats, and I think there's been a couple patches that's still been in there. You still with us, Blade?
Yeah, he's kind of cutting in and out.
Sounds like he's having some mic trouble over there.
So fix that, and I'll be a happy camper.
You're back then.
You fixed your mic, so now we're happy campers.
Yeah, we're happy campers. Okay, so I think we've covered everything that was delved out of the dev live stream. Blade, do you want to go into what we're doing for the Clan Championship Cup? I believe we're only a couple hours away from the clan registration deadline.
Yes. Today is the registration deadline for new members to sign up for the list. We have a full roster filled with 4 clans. So I am very happy to see everybody's going to be participating. We're not going to have any buys as long as people show up. I will just do a shout out on all the clans that we have registered. We have KC, we have OP, we have the NWA, and we have Sons. So 4 full clans all ready to compete.
Oh, Felix is not registered yet?
Did not field a full team.
Didn't field anything. They're
not doing a full. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna participate though, but not the full.
They did not submit any names.
Okay.
So just those 4 clans.
We hope that they solve whatever issues they have, and we certainly hope they participate in CCC number 3.
Absolutely, and there are other
going to be
clans
the
out there that are
26th.
still building up too.
26th.
And with that, I definitely want to give NWA a shout out because that clan came together very recently, and they've managed to pull together a team for all events but one, and that's the 3v3. They got people for all the free-for-alls, they got people for the 4v4, the 2v2. Like, they've really put in a lot of work, and they deserve credit for that.
I agree, Sarnith. They certainly do. Their leadership, they're only less than a month old when they decided to form a clan, and they have come to the table for the CCC number 2. And, it really doesn't matter, if they win or don't win. The fact that they're participating in the CCC a month after forming as a clan is awesome.
Every time I hear the word noobs, I'm going to just bring up that Task Force Fish has that you can get for how to play the game more effectively. So I'll give that a shout out. A week talking about it too.
Oh, the guide, yes.
I would though like Blade, if you don't mind, for all the people out there that know the CCC is coming. It's from the 26th to the 28th. It starts that Friday morning and goes all the way until the last events end, whenever they end on the evening of the 28th. What events are happening? What day and when are they starting for all of our people out there that want to come and watch?
All right, they are starting on the 26th. Let me pull up the dates here so I can actually read them off.
There will be duels this time too.
We have duels happening all weekend.
We have duels in this event.
Yeah.
So Friday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, all times I'm going to say are going to be all Eastern, so just so you know, we have the kicking off the Iron Man FFA. This is a no concede FFA. Since we have 4 clans participating, it's going to be a 4-man FFA. 1 member from each clan. They're all going to compete. They're not going to be able to concede. They have to either fight until they lose their last city or fight until we get to a victory screen. Being only 4 players, I am assuming we're going to actually get a domination victory here. But who knows?
Is it going to be on a size for 4 people, or is it going to be on a little bigger map?
All maps are going to be tailored to the size of the players in the game. So Duel's going to be on a dual map.
So Blade, I'm really fat. Does that mean it gets a size bigger?
No. You are...
All that time at the Golden Corral McDonald's was wasted.
Yes.
Yes.
You will be the unknown player 5 if you're hosting. Map size won't change because you don't have a Civ.
Oh, I will be. I'm going to be spectating that on my stream live.
Yeah, so we had to wait until all the clans registered in all the events to see what participation we had from what clans to customize the last settings of the event. So that's what Blade is going to do this weekend, and then publish the final list of events and the detailed settings, including map size and type and everything. So instead of having 6-man FFA, we're going down to 4. That's fine. We customize the event, and we push forward with customizing maps, customizing whether it's going to be a multi-round event or a round robin or Swiss style or whatever works for the amount of clans and teams that we've got in each event.
For now,
registide game too?
No, we already went over all the game options, and these are the 6 that won. For now, my projection is that it's going to be round robin. Especially in the team games where you have 2 teams. Clan 1 in first game is going to play Clan 2. In the second game, Clan 1 is going to play Clan 3. In the third game, Clan 1 is going to play Clan 4, and so on. So that is my prediction, how everything's going to work, because we only have 3 games being played on the 4v4, and we're having 4 games being played on everything except for the Iron Man. And then on Friday at 9 a.m., we have the first FFA going on, which, again, since we have 4 players per clan, is going to be a 4-man FFA. And then at 2 p.m., we have the second FFA for Friday going on. So those 3 games are what's going on Friday. We put all of our FFAs on Friday because most people work Friday. It's going to be a lighter day, so you wanted to have less people required per game. On Saturday at 9 a.m., we have our first 4v4. Now, each clan has fielded 1 4v4 team. So this group of 8 people are going to be playing 3 games. And so, since we have 4 clans, we're going to have, say, Suns versus OP in round 1. And then the game 2 will be Suns versus whoever. Then the game 4 is going to be Suns versus another clan. So the 3v3s, not everyone is going to be facing the same all clans, but it's going to get pretty close.
In the end, each day is worth 26 points, so that every clan has the theoretical ability to walk away with 26 points each day.
Right. So the Iron Man, since that is only 1 game, that game, first place, is going to be worth 24. On the FFA, since we have 4 games being played, first place is going to be worth 6 points. So you can get 6, or first place in all 4 games, you get a total of 24. And then on top of that, on Saturday, we also have at 10 a.m. one of our 2v2 games. And then on Sunday, we have our 3v3 game going down at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m., we have our 2v2 game going on. And then at 2 p.m., we have the other 3v3 game going on. So that's pretty much the majority of all of our events.
Is the 3v3 going to be round robin, or are we going to be able to have rounds with 4 clans?
Probably rounds with all 4 clans.
Yeah, what about the duel? When are the duels?
The duels. Now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be posting a little sign-up sheet for the duels. I'm going to be tagging all the duelists in the game, or all the duelists who are playing, and they're going to be set up starting at 12 a.m. and on the hour every 2 hours, so 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, for all 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm going to have players click on whatever time slots they are available to play. And so I'll use those time slots in order to match up players. So say the 4 of us are the duelists. I could play at 2 o'clock, I could play at 4 o'clock, and I could play at 10 o'clock. And say, Sarnith, you could play at 4 o'clock, and you can play at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and you can play at 8 o'clock. And so I'm going to just take those times and say, okay, so I am from Clan 1, Sarnith, you're from Clan 2. The 2 of us are going to play at this time. And then I'll let all the players know, hey, this is the time you're scheduled to play.
So based on the player...
what's the settings?
Settings for duels are going to be on Fractal, if I remember correctly. Or, no, the duels are going to be on Sarnith's duel maps. So maps we used for the last tournament, they're going to be played on his maps.
Because I think somebody said it won't work to turn that into a dual map, right? It's not designed to. You can't. You just pick the map and it's going to be tiny, right? You don't have a choice to.
Well, at the end of the day, the finer details that'll be worked out after we get all the scheduling and stuff set up. Because clans do have until midnight tonight to submit their roster. So we could see a surprise entry, we don't know. So the finer details will get posted when that day comes within the next 24 to 48 hours. So that information will be readily available. You can find that on the CivPlayer League Discord, which you can find on the link on either my Twitch channel or YouTube channel, or on the CivPlayer League's Twitch channel itself.
I just have one question. Should I put that I'm in the top 100 of the ADC on my Tinder profile? Will that help me with the ladies?
Oh my god.
Top 100 out of 90 people?
Well, let's not go into details that they don't understand.
No, they're
all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up this week's podcast here. Really big thanks to both my co-host, KingLewis. A huge thanks to both Canuck and Blade as our guests. And a really huge thanks to Canuck for hosting the podcast this week. I did have some computer difficulties, and my new rig will be in on the 19th. So
we're really happy to hear that, too.
I bet everyone who's hearing my robotic voice on my phone is going to be happy to hear that.
Well, it was good we were able to use some modern technology and still have you on the podcast hosting it as you do great every week, even though you're sitting there on your 4-inch phone.
One good thing I have to say about this, Sarnith? No screaming kids in the background. Well, I like
that's
this.
That's because there's a sleepover and they're all in the other room screaming at each other.
Instead of you, which we're good with.
But the huge thanks. We will look forward to seeing you guys, whether you're participating in the CCC or if you're just stopping by the streams that are going to be going on all weekend to support these players as they really duke it out with each other. To really, they're flying their clan and their community's flag, and you really got it. They take a whole lot of pride in that. So just coming by and watching the match means a lot to them. It means a lot to us, and a lot to the people taking the time to stream and cast these events.
And show some love if you're watching the. Subscribe to Sarnith and the CPL channels so you get more subscribers if you're enjoying these streams.
Yeah, we're always happy to have everyone. We do hang out in the Twitch and YouTube channels, and we'll answer questions and respond to your questions here live.